Hey guys, it's Harry Palmer here, 8 foot, 70.3 world champs, absolute big dog on the local scene now currently, and here to take you through some more tricks and tips.
Well, welcome back everyone. I just want to say a massive happy new year to all of you, and a massive thank you to all of you for commenting, sharing, and just the amazing response I had from my last video, which was my result video from the Ironman 70.3 World Champs. I'm still sort of, I guess, haven't really let that sink in yet really. Was an amazing experience, and was so cool to share it with some amazing people, and I'm looking forward to a bigger and better 2025. Already putting some bits of planning together. Understandably, finishing fairly late in the season has meant that the next season, as in this season, will probably start a little bit later as well. But yeah, already really excited for some of the collaborations that are gonna come from the hard work that I put in last year and the results, and just really excited to continue some collaborations, some new collaborations, and just for a bigger and better 2025. I think, like I've said previously, I genuinely feel like I'm just scratching the surface and there's so much more progression to be had, so I'm incredibly excited for this year already. So this time of year is always a little bit daunting, getting back into training. You always question, how much fitness you've lost and whether you've had too much time off and whether you're never going to get your fitness back. I think regardless of what level athlete you are, there's always those thoughts going through your head, because I guess as athletes, you always want to feel good, you always want to feel fit, but you also know that you cannot sustain a high level of fitness all year round, and so there are going to have to be peaks and troughs, and actually in order to get fitter you kind of need to back off, let your body fully reset and recover, and then go again. So yeah, definitely well, training peaks isn't being very kind to me, that's for sure. The fitness has dropped off considerably. The sensations aren't incredible, but I will be honest, it's maybe a bit better than I thought it was going to be. And I think that's maybe always the problem, is the mind plays tricks on the body and makes you think that you're going to be a lot more unfit than you actually are. And I'd probably argue it's more actually not loss of fitness, but just loss of conditioning. That's sort of what it feels like right now. Like everything sort of just hits me a little bit harder. I mean, the bike numbers aren't brilliant, but we can brush over that. Quite jealous of everyone who seems to be out in Lanza or on a training camp somewhere in the sun. So yeah, should maybe block a few people on Instagram. But all jokes aside, I think I'd love to maybe try and go away on a camp at some point, but with my current fitness levels and just getting back into it, I think I'd like to just stay at home for a bit and just get a bit of consistent training done. I think also with the Worlds being quite a bit later than when other people finished, they've already, others, have already been back training a month, 2 months, and so they're just a little bit further ahead. It's very easy to, find myself getting in my head a little bit about oh, this person's already pretty fit, they're already firing, oh my god. But then it's like, well, actually I finished my season mid-December, I'm always going to be a little bit behind, and that's why it's probably going to be my decision to start my season this year a little bit later, just to allow me to not rush into things. I think it would be too easy to think, oh no, I want to start similar time to everyone else, but if you rush back into it, I think end up sort of, I don't know, maybe disappointing myself a little bit. So I want to allow myself to get back into it, get that fitness up, get that confidence back. Race-wise for 2025, I'm not 100% sure what I'll do. I've got ideas, like, you know, I'd love to make the trip over to the States for either a race or a couple of races. I think that would be really, really cool. Yeah, some championship events would be really nice. Obviously in Swansea last year, I actually qualified for the World Champs this year, and I gave it away to Andy because I kind of didn't want to do Marbella, because I've done it previously and the course just really doesn't suit me. Like, it's like 1500 meters of climbing. It's crazy hilly, but I've been told that they're actually going to change the course in Marbella, so maybe that's another goal this year, is to try and re-qualify for the Worlds but actually take the slot. I don't know. I still need to sort of read into that and see what the course will be like, because apparently they have to change it. For a championship course, it needs to be a loop rather than out and back. I don't know if that's correct, but that's what I've heard, so that could be an option. But I mean, really, like, personal goals, I guess this year will be try and improve that swim in a race situation. I feel like in training it's pretty good, but racing, especially towards the back end of the year, maybe that was because I wasn't doing as much open water practice with the guys, I kind of feel like it got a little bit worse, and you know, just looking at my result from New Zealand, you know, I came out of the swim 27th, whereas on the bike and run I was very competitive with the front of the race, and I kind of worked out if I was even just like 20-30 seconds quicker on the swim, then I would have probably got in the top 5, which obviously would have been absolutely incredible. Imagine top 5 at World Champs, like, that would be insane. And I wasn't that far away from it, and I feel like if I got a bit of a better swim there, I would have made that front bike pack, would have been able to ride with those front boys, and then my run was one of the faster ones on the day. So yeah, I mean, it's not that I'm complaining about the race or anything, but I'm just saying that's definitely a point that I'm going to be focusing on this year, is the swim in a race dynamic, to make sure that I come out and I can use my bike and run ability to make sure I get the best result possible, instead of chasing, actually being at the front of the race. And I think it's possible. Like, I know it's possible. I've been at the front of races before out of the swim. It's just I'm not consistent at it. So some races I make good decisions and I have a good swim, and other races I make subpar decisions and I don't have necessarily as good swim as it should be. And I think the Worlds was one of those where I probably hadn't got as much open water practice as I should have done in, and that definitely showed. My open water skills were a bit rubbish, but it's hopefully something that I can really focus on this year, because if I can get that swim nailed, then I don't really think I have too much of a weakness. The bike and run are already in good positions, and obviously want to continue to progress those, but if I can get the swim up to the same level, which is kind of, it's there or thereabouts, but it just needs to be more consistent, especially in a race dynamic, then yeah, that would be amazing. So that's my big goal for 2025 on a personal level, is to get that swim up to scratch with my bike and run, and be at the front of races out of the swim rather than having to chase like crazy.